What's going on, everybody? C4, welcome back to the channel. Today we're for a new realistic rebuild here in Madden 23, where we are going with a team that definitely needs a rebuild. The Indianapolis Colts. We're going to be going 5 years with realistic draft classes, question mark. You'll see what I mean depending on how this first year goes. With the Indianapolis Colts, who just announced a new head coach. They have fired or let go of Frank Reich, who obviously is a Philadelphia Eagle fan, was a great coach for Philadelphia, a positional coach, wasn't a head coach. And they decided to hire the legendary center Jeff Saturday, kind of out of nowhere, to kind of right the ship here in the 2022 season. But all eyes on this team, is even more so than the head coach, is at the quarterback spot. Matt Ryan is washed. You know, Nick Foles, if Foles even still on that team, they've been kind of going with Sam Ehlinger. And like, Ehlinger was like a bad Tebow in college, so I don't really know what the point is there. I think, honestly, they should just go back to Matt Ryan, ride it out, see if they can play themselves into the Bryce Young sweepstakes, or maybe the CJ Stroud sweepstakes. And my plan in this rebuild is obviously to go and try and get one of those quarterbacks potentially, or we could do a Colts thing and try to trade for a veteran that most likely won't work out. But I will start to, you know, we got some teams here. We've used a lot of the big name quarterbacks already, and I don't have a problem with reusing players. You know, we used Bryce Young in our first realistic rebuild with the Seattle Seahawks. We have to use Bryce Young again. I don't really have a problem with that. But the thing is, I still think there's content with the 2024 draft class. There are some outstanding quarterbacks in that year's class that I kind of want to play around with here just a little bit. I don't have a good 2024 draft class. We'll just be using Bengals 2023 draft class here on Xbox. But if we don't play ourselves into the Bryce Young, CJ Stroud sweepstakes, we might just go to the next year's draft and look at a Quinn Ewers, Caleb Williams, Drake May, whomever. There's a bunch of players that we will try to utilize if things don't work out for this first draft in this season that we're kind of inheriting as a tank job. Doesn't work out in year one, we could definitely look for our quarterback in year two. So look at the rest of this roster just kind of quickly. You got Jonathan Taylor, one of the best running backs in the NFL. Michael Pittman is solid. Jump ball. Alec Pierce, great athlete. You got Jelani Woods, freak athlete at tight end. I'm going to give him the start. Offensive line, Quentin Nelson. Raymond was a high draft pick. Kelly, you got Braden Smith, solid. Defense is really good, honestly. Front four is great. Bobby Okereke. Shaq Leonard, fan of the channel, is outstanding. A secondary, Kenny Moore, one of the best slot corners in the NFL. You got Gilmore, you got Blackman, you got a very good athlete there, and Nick Cross. I'm really surprised the Colts are struggling, but with the quarterback spot, it's also not really shocking whatsoever. So let's take a deep dive at this roster. Sundays are for football, food, friends, and DraftKings Sportsbook. That's right, I'm partnering up with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, to share an incredible offer with all of you. All new customers sign up using promo code C4, bet $5 on any pregame money line wager. Pick the winner. That's all you need to do, and receive an additional $200 in free bets if your bet cashes. New customers who bet at least $5 on any football team to win this weekend will get an additional $200 in free bets if your bet hits. Plus, with same-game parlays, you can combine multiple bets from the same game to give yourself a shot at even bigger winnings all season long. For those in a state where sports betting is not yet available, don't forget about DraftKings Daily Fantasy, where they have been innovating even more ways to win some cash this football season. If football isn't your thing, don't forget the basketball season has kicked off, and DraftKings has a ton of ways for you to get in on the action. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers use promo code C4 and receive $200 in free bets if your bet hits after placing a $5 pregame football wager. That's promo code C4 only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Thanks again for sponsoring today's video. I do think one thing that is good is that eventually we move on from our quarterback. We'll have a lot more salary cap to work with, as Matt Ryan has a massive cap hit there. Even, I mean, Nick Foles ain't particularly cheap. The running back room, obviously, Jonathan Taylor is solid. You got a lot of youth at wide receiver. I think Pierce and Pittman could definitely be two guys long-term that we try to develop. Might need to find that third wide receiver. I'm going to go with Jelani Woods as our starter at tight end. You just don't see many guys that are 6'7", 250 pounds with that kind of athletic profile. Hell, he used to play quarterback. Maybe that should be a guy that experimented quarterback. If you're going Ehlinger, why not just go Jelani Woods? Offensive line, you got Raymond. He's an old rookie, 24-year-old rookie. But hopefully he can develop, because he was, for a team that didn't have a lot of premier picks, one of their one of their bigger investments from the 2022 draft class was Raymond. He needs to pan out. Quentin Nelson hasn't really been the same since injury, but still great. Ryan Kelly, solid. Probably need a right guard. You got Braden Smith who can play guard and or tackle. We'll keep him at tackle for the time being. Defensively, I'm thinking we need some help here at defensive end long term. More so, I think we can develop Kwity Paye, but Yannick Ngakoue, you know, he's at that age, very expensive. He's gonna have to produce. We're gonna have to see a lot of sacks for him to really stick around here in this rebuild. If not, we'll plan to get a little bit more cheaper. Maybe look at the draft. D-tackle spot, they have two great defensive tackles. DeForest Buckner here, 88 X Factor, and Grover Stewart is one of the best run stuffers in. He doesn't have a not available college. Did he go to Stanford? Could be wrong on that one, but all right. Linebacking core, Shaquille. Don't call me, you know, we're not even gonna call him his other name. You know, it's Shaquille now. Fan of the channel, monster when he's on the field, literally like the most productive. I'm not gonna say he's the best linebacker because stats can't be his league, but like in terms of getting stats, in terms of production, I don't think there's a more productive linebacker since he's come to the league than Shaquille Leonard. Kiriki's solid, great athlete. You know, maybe need another linebacker there long term. Gilmore's solid, but he's a vet. You know, he's vet. 31, not really going to be a big part of a 5-year rebuild. Same with Kenny Moore, 27. It's kind of a little bit of an awkward age. You got Isaiah Rodgers, outstanding athlete, great return man. But ultimately in this second, the corner room could be something that needs a little bit of youth injected into it. Julian Blackmon should develop into a long-term free safety for us, does have that star dev. And we have the veteran coming over for the Philadelphia Eagles, Rodney McLeod, but I think I'm going to go with the insane athleticism of Nick Cross right away, the rookie out of Maryland, just to capitalize. He's only 22, one of the younger rookies from that class. They got rid of Goggles at kicker, which sucks, but also McLaughlin's like been my fantasy kicker because the Colts have been god-awful scoring this year. So he's been pretty solid, and you got Sanchez, who's also a pretty decent punter. We have our first round pick this year, but again, I'm not gonna say there's spoilers. The plan is still for us to try and get a quarterback in the first realistic class, but if not, we'll go into year 2 with a generated class, and I'll modify one of the quarterbacks if we can find a quarterback in that class to one of the top names from 2024. This will be a trend for future rebuilds. Again, if we can play ourselves into a fun elite quarterback prospect this year, we will. If not, we'll kind of take things in our own hands into 2024 and get someone fun for all you Colts fans out there trying to just see some form of content where your team has a great quarterback and they can go on and win a Super Bowl. So without further ado, let's get into year 1 of this 5-year rebuild with the Indianapolis Colts with new head coach Jeff Saturday. All right, things have not gone well. We get about the same record that the Colts had. We didn't have the tie, the embarrassing tie that they had against the Texans, but we're 3-7 at the midway point. Before we look at contracts, we do have our first breakout scenario. It's Nick Cross, the starting safety, that we decided to go with youth over the veteran Rodney McLeod. And that'd be huge if we can get a 20-year-old with a star dev to pair with Julian Blackmon at free safety, who is, you know, still well on his rookie contract with a star dev. That could bode well for the safety room. We lose to the Eagles because the Eagles are a juggernaut this year, as we all know. 31-22, but taking a look at the scenario, if we can get the dev trait for Cross, which we... Damn it. All right, I didn't know what to expect in terms of contracts, who's set to be a free agent, or really what our salary cap is looking like. We got 46 mil, and, you know, it seems kind of easy. Honestly, I wasn't planning to extend Ngakoue, but he's interested, and a 2-year deal, keep him to he's 29. We don't have to really worry about any sort of regression. That is fine. We can still prioritize a pass rusher at any point. We have Okiriki, 30. Yeah, we'll keep him to zero, bump that to 5 and 3.5. $34 million, get him locked up. Still going to be able to go into free agency with $30 million free. I don't know. There's going to be a quarterback potentially to get an upgrade there. So at the end of year 1, in what could actually be the Super Bowl. Hope it's not, because it would be shitty for me. But 21-16, the Chiefs defeat the Eagles. Frank Clark, that's not happening, is the Super Bowl MVP. But it's all about our team. We finished 6-11, last place in the South. But the truth of the matter is, 6-11's not brutal. Like, you know, we're outside range trying to get a quarterback. Maybe one slips, maybe a run on defensive players go. So I'm a little bit concerned. Let's take a look at the stats before I show you guys maybe the worst regression I've seen so far in Madden 23. And that is actually for Matt Ryan. 3,800 yards, 24 touchdowns, 13 picks. You know what actually is pretty dope? I don't know what the status of Nick Foles' contract is. I probably just overlooked it when I was looking at the contract extensions, but like 2 mentor quarterbacks, if we can get a young quarterback, that's gonna be a lot of extra bonus XP that we just get throughout the week. Jonathan Taylor was phenomenal, but one-handed, you know, 2-headed monster. Zach Moss, who came over from the Buffalo Bills in the Naheem Hines trade. He vultured away a couple touchdowns, but outstanding from Jonathan Taylor. On the receiving end, 68 catches, 900 yards, 6 touchdowns for the rookie Alec Pierce of Cincinnati. 851 and 7 for Michael Pittman, 800 yards for Paris Campbell. Jelani Woods, another impressive season for a rookie, 67 catches, 600 yards, 6 tutties. Defensively, Shaq Leonard, outstanding production, 152 tackles, over 100 tackles for Cherokee, Kenny Moore, Stephon Gilmore, and the rookie Nick Cross. We had 9 sacks on 11 TFLs for Ngakoue, 12 TFLs, 6.5 sacks Buckner, 6 sacks, 13 TFLs Kwity Paye. Grover Stewart with 16 TFLs, he's a run stuffer. Gilly led the team with 3 interceptions. But yeah, definitely disappointing numbers across the board when all is said and done. But that's kind of the point. There's a reason why we're rebuilding them. Offensive player of the year, Jonathan Taylor coming in number 4. Defensive player of the year was Von Miller. We got Garrett Wilson winning Offensive Rookie of the Year with Alec Pierce coming in number 3. Defensive Rookie of the Year goes to Devin Lloyd. Nick Cross way down there at 7. And for the rest of the awards, obviously nothing going to be going the way of the Colts. We were average to bad this year, but I mentioned the worst regression I've seen so far in Madden 23, and that belongs, I was like, when I saw this, I was like, all right, Nick Foles is a starter? What happened? Like, wasn't Matt Ryan like a 72, 73? Look at this regression. Minus 31. Huh? Brutal. Like, I've never seen anything that harsh. Never. As it relates to dev traits on the offensive side, no one gained and or lost a dev trait, which, I mean, would have been cool for one of the rookies to, like, win an award, but, you know, the nature of the beast, they didn't play well enough. On the defensive side, we did lose the X factor for DeForest Buckner, which kind of sucks, but other than that, no other dev traits gained or lost, which kind of sucks, but I'll take no else. Only 1 L for Buckner, that's fine, we can survive that. Let's get into the offseason. So for free agency, we're not going to go too crazy here in year 1. We're going to get an insurance policy in case a quarterback does not fall to us, and that is Gardner Minshew on a 1-year deal. We're looking at Irv Smith Jr. Well, I think Jelani Woods is a fun developmental tight end. Back to that, we got a 25-year-old superstar tight end. Why not? Try and swing for the fences there a little bit, but there is another big competitive offer, which unfortunately we're unable to sign him. But we get Minshew. Minshew Mania, running wild, brother. So at pick 6, as kind of expected, the top quarterbacks. The quarterbacks that would be like, I want those guys, have already gone. Yes, Will Levis is there, but I do think grand scheme of things, it was CJ Stroud. It was definitely Bryce Young or bust at this given point. So now kind of looking at the draft here, where should we go next? Very interested in Keely Ringo. I think Michael Mayer at tight end could be absolutely sensational. I also did a lot of scouting at the wide receiver at TCU. Quentin Johnson, 6'4", 212, AAA. Got the 4.4 speed. I'm intrigued. I'm very intrigued by those stats. You pair that with, but the question is, you know, Michael Pittman's most likely going to be a wide receiver 1. Alec Pierce, nice wide receiver. Could be a good wide receiver 3. So it's like, do we look for a wide receiver 2? Do we get a guy that might be a generational, you see that quotation, but he's going to be a damn good tight end. As good of a tight end prospect if we've seen, you know, Kyle Pitts, before Kyle Pitts, you know, it's been a couple years. Or do we go with the best corner? And with Keely Ringo, we're going to have an outside guy that can play right away with Stephon Gilmore. He'll be the successor, corner 1 for Stephon Gilmore, because our second best corner is even Kenny Moore's corner 2. He's a slot. Isaiah Rodgers is a slot. So I think, coming down to it, I think Keely Ringo is the right pick for this team, for this secondary, and that is an absolute monster of a cornerback. I think coming back to the comment of wide receivers, we were interested. Not much there at tight end right now. Sam Laporta of Iowa, top available guy. So we have Jordan Addison out of USC. We have Josh Downs out of North Carolina. Addison's more of the route runner. That A deep route running looks good. Josh Downs, however, gives us freak athleticism. A deep route running. We got 4.27 at his pro day. Give me the elite athlete every day of the week. Welcome to Indy, Josh Downs. Great compliment we have right now in the jump ball guy in Michael Pittman, in the big athletic guy in Alec Pierce. You know, there could have been an argument made Jordan Addison, the technician, would be great. Give me more speed. We'll just trust our scouting. We are back in the 2nd round. This is where I was thinking maybe we look at a linebacker, because we're still a linebacker short. We got a Cherokee, we got Shaq Leonard, and someone like Drew Sanders, kind of a do-it-all, even though he is more of a power rusher, does have the A-zone coverage, which would be outstanding, would be a 3rd linebacker there. However, we also need a right guard. The fact that we have our scouting here on Osiris, maybe we can trade back to get him. That seems like maybe our hidden beast, potentially. So I'm going to actually go Drew Sanders here and then maybe trade up in the 3rd round. Be aggressive to try to get Torrance there from the Florida Gators. Right, let's let it go. I was like, should I trade up? Fuck! Come on, man. What the fuck? All right, we'll go with the next best. We'll go Ekiyor out of Alabama. God damn it. Did follow it up, just kind of, you know, in case Bernard Raymond doesn't pan out. Blake Freeland at a BYU pops with a hidden dev here in the 4th round. So look at our draft recap from the 2023 draft. Get Keely Ringo, Jumbo's generational, if you're going to be honest. 78 with a dev trade. Josh Downs in the 2nd round, 75 with a dev trade. Look at that, 95, 95 for speed acceleration, 96, 95 speed acceleration. That'll do. Drew Sanders didn't pop with the dev trade, but he is 73, so he likely will be a day 1 starter for us. That will be at right outside linebacker. Ekiyor, good consolation prize, 72. Again, another guy, even though he's normal dev, most likely will start. Or we could potentially, because, you know, with Raymond, Freeman has the dev trait. Could look at that higher ceiling. That Dalton Kincaid, great tight end at Utah. Actually, surprised his rating was this low. Xavier Thomas, big time. I think he was a former 5-star recruit for Clemson in the 6th round for depth, and BB there at right tackle. I do want to see what Osiris Torrance was, just because we had him. Don't show dev. Don't show for... Should have traded up, man. Year 2 for the Indianapolis Colts, and, well, you know, expectations minimal. We got Gardner Minshew. It's Minshew Mania. Hopefully he runs wild, but I don't necessarily know if the Colts playbook is one that can excel with, you know, anybody there. Like if we were the Bucks, you could probably win Minshew. But take a look at that. We're gonna go actually Freeland here at left tackle over Raymond. That's kind of what happens with a new regime, new front office, new coach. You don't have to, you know, the what is it, the sunk lost cost fallacy or some shit like that. You know, we don't have to just stick with this guy because he's a high pick. We're gonna go with the better player right now, the higher ceiling player, and that is Blake Freeland. Ekiyor get the start at right guard. We're gonna go Pierce, Josh Downs, Michael Pittman at wide receiver. So, I mean, honestly, Minshew does have some weapons for him and a solid offensive line. On the defensive side of the ball, the secondary now with Keely Ringo, who's an absolute monster, is going to be great. The rookie Drew Sanders is going to get the start there with a Cherokee and Shaq Leonard. And optimism, I mean, hey, if we don't have a great pick, it means it's going to be easy for us to draft a quarterback. If we do fun, I am here for the Minshew memes. If he can become our quarterback, honestly. Let's get into year 2. Back again in year 2, 2nd time's the charm, potentially. Nick Cross with a breakout scenario ahead of our matchup here against the Chargers. Honestly, a massive win. We're 3-2, and both of our last 2 wins have come with 40 points on the board. So Minshew Mania is running wild, but Nick Cross just cannot get a dev trait increase for the life of him. Well, we're on the back of a loss. Disappointing loss, the lowly Texans. But again, playing ourselves, like, do we want a quarterback? Do we not want a quarterback? Too good a record? Gonna be too difficult to get a quarterback. We're 5-5, and the good news, I just saw this when I upgraded him. Blake Freeland is superstar. Mid-round, we got him in the 4th round. All right, that is a massive, massive win. Josh Downs got unveiled, star dev. I mean, he's in the slide, he's doing his damn thing. But that left-hand side, we can build on that, baby. Defensively, Keely Ringo, superstar dev. Just, we're laughing. What a draft class, man. Not mine. It's not even my draft class. I never used. You know, this is a new, freshly updated one. Didn't have any idea. And that's absolutely awesome. So taking a look at some contracts here in a rebuild year. But we actually have a lot of guys that are looking to get paid. Now, Minshew's an interesting one. We'll look at week 13. We'll start with Blackman. 3-year deal. He has interest in coming back. We'll get him locked in. Be a long-term piece. We got Jonathan Taylor. He's looking for a 7-year deal. He's unstoppable. What? I gave you literally the best deal I could possibly give you. We got Gilmore. Looking for a 1-year. Let's maybe give him like a 2-year deal, potentially. Get him locked in. Even with the regression, he's still going to be really good on the outside. We got Michael Pittman Jr. We'll give him a player-friendly deal. $86 million. He's a monster. We got Kenny Moore, somewhere 2 years, I think. I'd be really, really easy to pay him. That's where we're going to have a nice veteran secondary to pair along with Keely Ringo. Grover Stewart at D-tackle. I feel like we could probably replace him. We're going to have to save some money somewhere. Isaiah Rodgers gives us a little bit of, I mean, he's solid, but we have our 3 corners. So I guess it comes down to the fact of, like, how well does Minshew actually play? We're 5-5. Things could go kind of one way or another, and we're absolutely going to just increase the amount of money offered to Jonathan Taylor. He cannot leave this building. Year 2 wasn't much better, but we had some progress. 8 and 9, so we kind of just, congrats. You played yourself into a spot where if you want a quarterback, you're going to have to trade up, as we're like just right in the middle of the park. Let's see what Minshew did. Was it Minshew or did he just hand the football off? Which is likely, as Jonathan Taylor right there already pops up as the 3rd leading rusher. But Minshew Mania did decent to good. 4,200 yards passing, 34 touchdowns, 11 picks. Absolutely, he's a bridge quarterback, but you know, I don't know. That's pretty good. Jonathan Taylor absolutely 1,800 rushing yards, 22 touchdowns, 75 catches, 1,200 yards, 11 tutties for Michael Pittman. Josh Downs, the rookie, had 4 yards shy of 1,000 in his rookie season. Should be putting himself up there for Offensive Rookie of the Year. Alec Pierce with a solid year. Jelani Woods with a solid year. Defensively, 3 guys going over 100 yards, Leonard Okereke and Kenny Moore. We got 16 TFLs, 12 sacks, Kwity Paye, love seeing that. 12 and 10.5 for Ngakoue, 16 and 7 for Grover Stewart, 12 and 6 for DeForest Buckner, with 4 picks by Shaq Leonard, leading the team, 2 for Cross, 2 for Isaiah Rodgers. Looking at the yearly awards, MVP goes to Jalen Hurts. Okay. Diggs, Offensive Player of the Year. Defensive Player of the Year goes to Khalil Mack. Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to Michael Mayer, a man that we were considering before we went with Keely Ringo, who didn't even really pop up there for any awards or any stellar rookie season. Josh Downs coming number 5. Defensive Rookie of the Year goes to Jalen Carter. Ringo comes in 9. Sanders at 10. Yeah, I mean, we got a superstar. I'm not going to overly complain. The fact that we got a freaking superstar corner, superstar tackle. That is a win from that draft class, even without any award winners. The Super Bowl goes to the Cincinnati Bengals, defeating the 49ers 42-21 with Joe Burrow winning the MVP. And our roster, as we clear out the lockers, well, we already showed you the superstar dev trade on Freeland. As far as the rest of the offense is concerned, no one went up or down a dev trade. On the defensive side of the ball, Grover Stewart didn't go. I thought he might have a chance going up. Buckner lost his dev. Stephon Gilmore lost his dev. Drew Sanders went from normal to a star, so like that just continues to add on to what was an outstanding first draft class for this team. But that sucks that our defensive line, as far as dev trades are concerned, went from gold to silver. And we got Matt Ryan's massive salary off the books because he retired. Same for Matt Prater. So just kind of quickly looking ahead of the draft, there are quarterbacks. I'm going to be aggressive. We're going to look at, I don't know, like again, there's names. Caleb Williams, potentially. Drake May. You got Quinn Ewers. We'll figure it out. But I think we do want to play ourselves in position for that top 5 quarterback, which we will just strictly from a height, weight, name modify to a realistic player. But we'll be aggressive. But for free agency here, there's this position that I really want to target, which is defensive tackle. We let Grover Stewart walk because he's 30 years old and was looking for an upgrade, a raise, if you will. So we just kind of go spot down. Now, definitely not similar style players. Grover Stewart, run defender. Ed Oliver, not necessarily a run defender, but that is an upgrade nonetheless. It's not ridiculously expensive, so that is a big-time upgrade to pair Ed Oliver with DeForest Buckner in the middle of our defensive line. Now it is time to get to the draft, be aggressive, and go get a quarterback. And the last piece of business before the draft is the 5th-year option for Kwity Paye. I think he's been solid. Definitely think there's still upside. He has yet to hit his ceiling, so we'll pick up the 5th-year option of him. We're paying a big-time price to go get our quarterback, but it's well worth it versus how much the Colts have invested over the last couple of years in veteran quarterbacks that have not worked out. We are trading pick 13 this year, our first-round pick in 2025, and Bernard Raymond, starting left tackle for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's going to be a starter there. Still some upside. We don't need him with Freeland kind of popping with the superstar dev. All that to Pittsburgh for pick 1-1 in the 2024 NFL Draft. And with that pick, we got our quarterback, man. Look at this guy. Absolute monster. Fits the profile of a Caleb Williams. He just doesn't know it yet. We're going to follow it up. Continue to invest on the defensive line. Devontae Sullivan, 330. So with the bench press, he's one of these guys, man. He's got to be an absolute baller. 95 strength. Hidden dev. Gives us a little bit of youth. Buckner's getting up there in age a little bit. And it gives us the run stuffing that we lost with Grover Stewart. A late round pick. We're just kind of filling out the depth chart. This is like the 5th round, 6th round. Dalton Lambert at a TCU Pops hidden dev corner. Draft recap time, and here is our quarterback, Caleb Williams, 78 overall improviser. Down with the correct height, correct name. His name was submitted wrong. to the draft, but I mean, we saw him. Right when we picked him, the throw power looks good. The skill set looks pretty damn good. 94 change of direction, just lethal out in space, and improviser, the best quarterback prospect the Colts have had since Andrew Luck, and that is saying something. We got Devontae Sullivan in the second round, 70 hidden dev defensive tackle, powerhouse, especially with our bonuses and boosts and stuff like that, up to a 99. So he's gonna be a great D tackle 3 for the squad. We only had 3 corners on the roster going in the draft, so we got Hendricks here, 67. We got depth on the offensive line, but Dalton Lambert in the 5th round also popping with a hidden dev. At a TCU, kind of went against the grain too. Didn't have a particularly fast combine, but he was like first in jumping, first in vert, first in bench press. So I said, screw it. Let's just see what the kid can do. And pops with the hidden dev, which is pretty awesome. Again, when in doubt, if you have nothing on your draft board and like the attributes that you're getting aren't particularly good, just go with guys with elite traits. Guys that came first in certain things. Because usually, they'll at least pop with a dev trait. And then we finish up with a solid depth linebacker in Sean Dickens. But this draft is all about quarterback 1, given the fact that we pretty much forego next year's draft with no premier pick, no first-round pick. We're not going to need one because we now have a franchise quarterback. Let's get into the next season. I will say I'm disappointed that that question mark isn't already unveiled. If you know, you know. Year 3 for the Indianapolis Colts. Brand new quarterback, and now just the offense looks really that much better. We're going to... Yeah, you know, let's keep the development of Jelani Woods here, but the offensive line's outstanding. The skill position players, Pittman, Josh Downs, Jonathan Taylor, got to be almost as good as it gets. And now we have our man under center defensively. We bring in Ed Oliver, we bring in Sullivan, we have another hidden dev corner. Keely Ringo is going to take big steps. We have Sanders, who got off normal up to a star dev last season. I'm expecting him and his trajectory to continue to only get better. Now, the pressure's not going to be too crazy here. It's still a brand new quarterback, brand new scheme, making the jump from amateurs to the pros. But I would like to see us get as close to 500 as we possibly can. We saw what this team could do with, you know, Gardner Minshew. Minshew mania running wild under center. I expect similar, if not better, from Caleb Williams. Midway of year 3, and we're 4-6, which is a little bit disappointing. But to turn those frowns upside down, look at the dev trade on Caleb Williams. Superstar. Wasn't the X factor, but I will take superstar as a starting point here, which is probably pretty fair, pretty in line with what he will look like whenever it does come for him to make the jump from USC to the NFL. The offense looks good. Jonathan Taylor right now playing like a top 3 running back. So while the wins aren't there yet, they are going to become. But we first need to look at contract extensions. Who is worth keeping on this squad? It looks like it's going to be a relatively cheap extension period. You know, we're going to need, in terms of must-haves, I think we can move on from Ngakoue. Ryan Kelly at center. Well, we'll start with Buckner. I think we give Buckner something like 7.5, 9.5, 2 years, $34 million. Get him locked up. Don't really have to worry about any regression. Ryan Kelly at center. If he'll take this, fine. If not, oh, we did. I was going to say, if not, we'll let him hit the open market. Maybe there'll be an upgrade. Likely not. Offensive line does not tend to pop off too much in free agency. So, yeah, we'll let Ngakoue go. So, we'll be looking with this $33 million for an upgrade at pass rush, be it in free agency or with our top pick in the upcoming draft, which is in the 2nd round. Also kind of cool. It's unlikely, but after a Week 12 loss, which is disappointing, especially against Detroit Lions, but Caleb Williams was AFC Offensive Player of the Week, 4 touchdowns, 336 yards. He has a potential breakout trying to get the X Factor. Now it's, you know, what are we going to get? 10%? We'll give him a 10% shot at potentially hitting this. But the fact that it exists, the fact that it's already here in his rookie season is outstanding for his trajectory, for where he's going to be able to bring this squad in years 4 and 5 for this rebuild. But let's see if he can hit it. I've seen it hit like once before, but there's no way with only 28 points, unless all 4 of those touchdowns came from Caleb Williams. I mean, there's a chance. Why is he wearing a red hat? So year 3 has completed. We're last in the division. That's the only negative. I mean, the Ravens winning could be a negative. I don't really think Colt fans hate Ravens, but 38-24, the Ravens win the Super Bowl. But the good news is that offensively, Caleb Williams was sensational. Jonathan Taylor was a leading rusher in the NFL. Caleb Williams, 4,600 yards passing, 43 touchdowns. Now 24 picks is brutal. 59% completion percentage is not good. But if you look at the positives, you look at the output, the positive output, pretty good. great. It's a rookie. He's only going to get better. 1,900 yards, 16 touchdowns for Jonathan Taylor. Caleb Williams, probably should scramble a little bit more, likely due to the Colts playbook. We had 54 catches, 1,200 yards, 18 touchdowns for Michael Pittman, 1,100 yards, 7 tutties for Josh Downs, just shy of 1,000 yards for Alec Pierce and 7 touchdowns, and 11 touchdowns on 700 yards, 63 catches for Jelani Woods, his most productive in the league. Defensively, Okereke, Leonard, and Nick Cross go over 100 tackles. We got 12 sacks, 19 TFLs on 73 tackles for Ed Oliver. That is actually ridiculous production for a defensive tackle. 18 and 10 for Ngakoue, 18 and 10 for Kwity Paye, and Buckner with 19 TFLs, 8.5 sacks. 3 picks from the veteran Stephon Gilmore leading the team. 86 tackles, 2 picks for Keely Ringo. Looking at the yearly awards, MVP goes to Josh Allen with what? You go first in the NFL in touchdowns, and you don't make the MVP shortlist? Seems pretty disrespectful, if you ask me. Jonathan Taylor, number 4 for Offensive Player of the Year. Michael Pittman at 7. Where's my quarterback? He doesn't even... Who's this guy? Kenny Long. You had a better year than Caleb Williams? We had 45 touchdowns. 40... You had 42 touchdowns. Still ridiculous. Better yards, better completion. It's the interceptions. The interceptions, you cannot throw that many interceptions. And, that's got to be what it is, right? I'm not tripping balls here. Wow, Minshew makes the... We don't even make... The interceptions just completely ruined him in the eyes of the award winners and award voters. Michael Pittman is wide receiver of the year, which should be good for a dev trait, potentially. But at least with Caleb Williams, we didn't lose a dev. Maybe we did. Honestly, with all those interceptions, if he's a star dev, wouldn't be shocked. He stays superstar, which is cool. Michael Pittman going from star up to a superstar is great for the offense. On the defensive side, we got Ed Oliver from superstar up to X Factor. Buckner and Paye both going from star up to superstar. And this is good, man. This team's getting ready to peak head of year 4. So obviously we're going to try to be aggressive in free agency, and we're swinging. Yes, we got a kicker in there, but he's the best kicker in the NFL, not named Justin Tucker. Out of Florida, Evan McPherson. I'm going to look at J.C. Horn. There's no other bids on him, and Stephon Gilmore's getting up there in age a little bit. We know what Horn can do from our Panthers series, so I'm thinking, he'll be corner 3 eventually, be the successor. Let's grab it now instead of waiting next year where maybe, Gilmore retires and we don't have that next corner that could step up. And we're going to try and get Trey Smith, 90 overall superstar guard. Some pretty big bids on him from the Commanders and the Giants in the NFC East, but we're competing. Sometimes it's not always the top team, but, this case it was the top team that gets the bid. It's not always. Sometimes, I'm sometimes the top team on those interest meters, and I don't get it. So we were kind of a little bit optimistic there, but we still land ourselves a new kicker, a nice, solid corner with some upside, and we still have some good cap carryover for, year 4 into year 5 contract extensions and a little bit of juice if it gets Super Bowl or bust and we need to make a big signing on free agency. Now, we look forward to the draft where we don't have a first-round pick. We got to crush it in the second round. All right, we're into the draft. We're in the second round. This might be one of the best wide receiver prospects from a ratings and physical standpoint that I've seen. Now, no disrespect to Alec Pierce. He's currently our wide receiver 3. When we draft this guy, we're putting the pressure on him a little bit. But given the fact that our team doesn't really have any weakness, and I was kind of targeting a tight end that is already gone, unfortunately. He actually looked outstanding. And Spencer Huffman's here, kind of slow, is what it is. We're kind of just going BPA. But I've never, the one position out of all these guys, every single position, that the key ratings don't really indicate a good or bad player is wide receiver. It almost feels like you can throw the key ratings out the window. Now, this looks good. B, catching traffic. C, catching, which is kind of the shits. But A, deep route running. B, release. Very good key ratings. And even the fact that he was, one of the fastest wide receivers at the Combine. Elite acceleration, elite jumping. 3 cones in the first. I would like to see the shuttle a little bit better. But everything is there. So I'm just going to, prayers up. This guy's a monster. Of course, there's no dev trait, but I think the rating's going to be pretty high. Again, in the area of BPA, Mike Weiner at center. Just the best at everything. Yeah. I was going to pick him on name alone, let alone just being a freak of nature Jason Kelce regen. Draft recap, I think we did pretty good. I think those first 2 picks that we had for no first-round picks, look at that, 78! Ricky Newkirk. I was pissed that he had no dev trait. 98 speed, 98 acceleration, and with our boost, we got 84 catching, 84 catch in traffic, 86 spec catch, because obviously those will only get better. 81 deep route running, 72 short, 82 release, 93 agility, 91 jumping, 86 change of direction. For a second-round pick, getting a 78 is insane. Like, he might be the best player in the draft. We got Mike Wienert, our hidden dev center, 73 with the normal dev. By normal dev, I mean hidden dev. Don't even know why I said that. It's early in the morning. Give me a break. But he looks outstanding. We got Ja Flynn from Oregon come in. A little bit of a power back. Give us, you know, one thing I have noticed. I don't know if you guys have. Not a lot of, like, there's abundance. It needs to get nerfed. How many wide receivers just have 95, 96, 97, 98 speed? Feels like running back is few and far between. Unless you get like a generational running back prospect, you don't see a lot of running backs with like 92 plus speed. So I'll take 91 every day of the week. We got some solid picks rounding up, but a 78 in the first round. Second round. Is he beat number one? Number one! We got the number one player in the draft. Suck it, rest of the NFL. Year 4 for the Colts. I think we make the playoffs this year. That's kind of, I'm not going to say, you know, minimum requirement, but I think we make the playoffs this year. Caleb Williams, superstar. He cuts down on the interceptions. We're going to be dynamic. We literally have the best player from the draft. We're going to bump him in. He'll be our slot with his 98 speed. We got Wiener just elevating the rest of the offensive line. They're going to play their best because they got M. Wiener on their team. Jonathan Taylor's best running back in football. You flip to the defense. The fact that, you know, you look like we could use another pass rusher. Fine. We're just going to run. We'll run a lot of nickel. Just front three. Ed Oliver, Buckner, Kwity Paye. Run. Honestly, we probably should switch to like a 3-4 if we wanted to. But look at the secondary. Kenny Moore, Keely Ringo, J.C. Horn, Stephon Gilmore, Julian Blackman, Nick Cross. Even though there's no dev, just a freak of nature. The linebacking core is very, very solid, very, very stout. I'm thinking 10 wins, wild card, here in year 4. And we make the playoffs, not a lot of teams are going to be hanging with this offense. Midway, year 4. This is our big year. 5-5 is not exactly where we want to be, but the Niners were 8-1, and we got a victory over them week 11, 35-24. Now it's time for the final contract extension period. We have $98 million, so these are all players that we want for the 5th and final year. We'll start with Kenny Moore, heart and soul of the defense, easy call. We have Braden Smith. Let's be honest, there's not going to be an upgrade at right tackle over him on the open market, so we're going to get him. Kwity Paye, our superstar pass rusher, has developed nicely. Oh my God, after all these contracts, we're not going to have a whole lot of money for the open market. We're not going to let Kwity Paye walk. Even if he loses that superstar, I feel like he's been important. Gilmore, you know, we have enough depth at corner that we can move on. Nick Cross, I honestly feel like we can bring him back, but the fact that he's yet to go up dev, like, let's see. If he goes up dev this season, because he's playing a lot of football, gets a lot of tackles, we'll you know, in that final little negotiation window before free agency, we'll give him a contract. But, you know, it's all about upgrades at this point. And, like, as much as, like, Alec Pierce and Jelani Woods, part of that first rookie class, can we do better? Are we going to be able to find someone else better? Potentially on the open market. So we'll come back to the table with Kwity Paye. Rest of these guys definitely will show interest in the open market, but as it stands right now, no in-season contract extension. To be honest, very disappointing year 4. 8-9. Again, like, I don't know what this team needs to do to fucking take the next step. We got 1 season left. Do we just spend all of our money in free agency? How did you go from 40 touchdowns to 29? How? Where's that regression? How does that regression make any fucking sense? Jonathan Taylor carried the load for the offense. Went from last year having 3 pretty much 1,000-yard receivers. None this year. Literally no one played good. Literally, I don't even care. Go next year. Fucking embarrassing. End of the season, the Chiefs beat the Bears. I think that's the 2nd time the Chiefs have won the Super Bowl in this rebuild. I mean, obviously, it just happens all the time. My worry is going into year 5, like, we're going to get hit with regression. I don't think many people would have kept their dev traits. Caleb Williams did somehow, but we lost the superstar on Michael Pittman, which sucks, but is expected. I honestly thought Caleb Williams was going to lose his. On the defensive side, we had Kwity Paye lose his superstar, which sucks. That's it. Honestly, not really as bad as it could have been. You know, Gilmore is all the way down to a normal depth, but we're letting him walk in free agency anyways. So we're going to go into free agency looking for probably a left defensive end, potentially a strong safety, or we'll look at bringing Nick Cross back. And on the offensive side, fuck, I mean, a tight end, and if there's a game changer at wide receiver, maybe that's what we need. Well, this is a realistic rebuild, and this is kind of on the fringe of, like, just going insane in free agency. Now, this could kick ourselves in the ass here potentially because we're going Thibodeau and Hutchinson. I just don't think we're going to get Hutchinson. We desperately need another pass rusher on the other side of Kwity Paye. So let's not put all of our eggs in one basket. And if we get both somehow, we could probably kick Kwity Paye into detail. I don't know yet. Then we're going to bring back Nick Cross and Jelani Woods. Both those guys are still their best players on the open market at the respective position, and I don't really want to have to rely on a rookie at any of these spots. Let's see how this kind of plays out here. Oh, no. Let's pay a little bit more for Jelani Woods. Oh, no. With that, I'm not going to be honest. That little remaining salary cap, I think we got both Hutchinson. Okay, this is a good problem to have. I'm not gonna lie, there's not a lot of fixing that I can do at this point. So yeah, we're gonna go Hutchinson, and you know what? I'm gonna go Hutchinson and Thibodeau on either side. Kwity Paye will be the guy that kind of gets punished here a little bit, unfortunately. But I see sometimes in the comments people are like, C4, you're losing because you don't have depth. Well, now we have depth. It'll look something like this. God damn, who's stopping that? And I have been kind of looking at the tight end spot as something that's like, just Jelani Woods' development's kind of stunted a little bit. And look at this player, man. Almost 4.4 speed on a 6'5 tight end. Easy pick. And there's no, come on, give me the dev. So draft recap time. Final draft usually doesn't really mean a whole lot, but we got two exceptional players. Both at positions of need. Cross and Jelani Woods. We got Joey Sims at tight end, so added some immediate competition there. And at strong safety, we got Cam Westbrook out of South Carolina, hidden dev, strong safety, terrific athlete, pretty easy to know how we draft him. Fastest 40-yard dash. But it's going to be tough for either one of those guys really to see the field, but great players nonetheless here in Year 5's draft. Year 5 is here for the Colts, and this offseason, man, just ridiculous. And we got to show you something, too. We have the ability where you get to unlock a dev trait. You'll see that in just a second. But focusing on the offensive side of the football, this is time. It's been the Jonathan Taylor show. We've seen big seasons from Michael Pittman, but it is time for Caleb Williams to take over. It is time for Caleb Williams to play like his rookie year. Combine the offense of his rookie year with the accuracy of his second season. We can't have that drop off. We're not going to be able to expect that kind of drop off and try to get double-digit wins. So it's all about what Caleb Williams shows up here in Year 5. But we've definitely done our part on the defensive side of the ball to get it all going. Now, we were second place in the bid for Aiden Hutchinson, and I decided just to ensure that we get a pass rusher. We also threw a bid in on Thibodeau. Ended up getting both of them. So Kwity Paye is going to be a top rotational guy at either D-tackle and the pass rush spot. However, we have the ability which unlocks a dev trait, and Westbrook, our second-round pick at strong safety, is an X factor. Insanity. Cam Westbrook out of South Carolina, X factor. We're going to play him right away. Why not hit the ground running? Exactly the type of upgrade we needed. But as good as the defense is and will be this year, we're only going to go as far as QB 13 will take this offense and this squad. We've underperformed. We've underperformed pretty much every year, really outside of like the Gardner Minshew year. So it is time for everyone to put it all together. Year 5, Super Bowl or bust. Let's be great. And I guess spending absurd amount of money on your defense. I mean, I will say, I hate seeing that we had the 27th passing offense. I would like to see Caleb Williams take over a little bit more. But when you have Jonathan Taylor, just hand the ball off, stay healthy kind of deal, right? Leading rusher Jonathan Taylor, look at that, 2,000 yards, 25 touchdowns. Nothing else for the individual awards. I just assume the rest of the team was just jacked, just stacked and jacked, baby. 4K passing for Caleb Williams, 33 touchdowns, 11 picks. So again, not really seeing the heights of his rookie season, but that's kind of like a middle ground between years 1 and year 2. We have Jonathan Taylor, just give him the MVP award right now. On the receiving, Newkirk 10 touchdowns, no 1,000-yard receivers, still a decent year to Michael Pittman. Defensively, Okiriki and Shaq Leonard getting over 100 tackles. We got 11 sacks Hutchinson, 10 from Thibodeau, 8.5 from Buckner, 8 from Ed Oliver, and again, unfortunately, just because it is what it is, Kwity Paye had to take a step back a little bit. Julian Blackman led the team with 4 interceptions, but at least in year 5, it's an absurd team. There's no other way around it. It's an absurd team, very much as Jonathan Taylor comes in number 10 for the MVP race. and as Offensive Player of the Year in the AFC. It's very much borderline, not realistic rebuild, even that's the title of it. But you know what I'm saying? I had to double up. Couldn't just let, you know, no pass rusher come here. We ended up getting 2. We made it work. Cam Westbrook, our X-Factor strong safety, gets Defensive Rookie of the Year. Jonathan Taylor, Running Back of the Year. Both those guys are X-Factors. So it's not like if we go on a run, Evan McPherson, Kicker of the Year. But it's not like if we go on a run, those guys are going to go up dev trait or down a dev trait come year end because they're already at the X-Factor, which is great. So now just kicking our feet up. First round buys, the 1 seed. Literally underwhelm every single year. Luckily enough, we put it together as a 92 overall squad in year 5. And we are able to sit down and wait as the wild card plays out, and we now take the 11-6 Cincinnati Bengals in the divisional round. They're a little bit of a Cinderella team, beating the Kansas City Chiefs. But today, we remind them, cold, hard reality, you are not better than us. And maybe it's cocky, but, you know, we got the first round here. I want to more so hop in if we go on the championship. There's no way we're losing the first game. Our team is so much better than the Bengals. Our team's so much better than a team, not even the Kansas City Chiefs. So we absolutely smoke the Bengals 45-27 in Caleb Williams' playoff debut, where he went 4 touchdowns. Did have a pick. Would have been nice to have a clean sheet there, but 300 yards, 4 touchdowns. Jonathan Taylor, 163 rushing yards. Pittman with 119 yards, 3 touchdowns. Defensively, Shaq Leonard all over the field. Aiden Hutchinson, 2 sacks. A sack from Ed Oliver. A pick from Okereke. And that sets up a matchup in the AFC Championship game, which we are going to get front row seats for. The 1 seed Colts, the 3 seed Ravens. It is Caleb Williams against Lamar Jackson. Let's get it. We got a man that no one thought should have been a head coach. Literally watched the Good Morning Football, and like Joe Thomas was like going off about how Jeff Saturday becoming the head coach of the Indianapolis Colts was like a slap in the face of the NFL. Well, it is his time to prove every single doubter wrong by getting his team not only to a Super Bowl, but winning a Super Bowl. Up 10 in the first half, definitely stalling out here just a little bit, unfortunately. Next time there's an opportunity to come in, I think we will. 3rd and 4. Slants, you know Jeff knows what plays we need and when we need them. Boom. Where's Josh Downs at? Where is... That should have been a pick. There's no other way around it. That should have been a pick. And we're deservingly not doing anything right now, to be honest with you. We got smoked. We got to do deservedly. We were fucking terrible. That was fucking bullshit, so we're going to run it one more year real quick. Not going to be nearly as in-depth. I'm going to try to re-sign as many guys as I can. We're running it back one more year because that was fucking bullshit. We got Quentin Nelson re-signed. We're going to get Shaq Leonard re-signed. Oh my God. Okay. We're going to get Freeland re-signed. We're going to get Buckner can go. We can get Kwity Paye, kick him inside the defensive tackle. Keely Ringo, on the other hand, cannot leave. So we're going to give him a 6-year deal, get him locked in. So we're going to need a couple new starters here. What do we got? $8 million bucks. Might be able to get Okereke back. Kind of maybe. Nope. Yeah, we'll throw him an offer. No, all right. We're not going to be as strong, but another swing at another Super Bowl run. So we had no money to sign any free agents, but we did go into the draft needing a wide receiver and a linebacker, and we kind of got one of each. We got a wide receiver late, Emmanuel Bush, 97 speed, 98 acceleration with a hidden dev. We got Jermaine Clay out of Iowa in the first round. Good rating, but no dev trait. Fast as well. Kind of whiffed on Ryan Carey at linebacker. Luckily in the 3rd round, able to come back and get Dexter Atkins out of West Virginia. Again, very good speed for the linebacker, sideline to sideline ability. Hopefully, man, these guys got to play. So in a bonus year 6, our team just is clearly not as good. We kind of went all in a little bit. This is the downside, the leftovers, if you will, but we're still a damn good team. I had to give them one more year. We can't go out with like high-powered offense and you just you score like 0 touchdowns in your playoff game. Just can't have that. Rub me the wrong way. So we're gonna run it back here. We got Matt Milano, signed him as free agent. Let's see what the guys got. So we go 13-4. A little bonus here. Very quickly looking at the stats. Caleb, I mean, solid. I mean, given the fact that we did have the drop-off in talent, still winning the division, still just handing the ball off to Jonathan Taylor. You know, nothing too crazy. A lot of tackles, Shaq Leonard, Hutchinson, Thibodeau, Oliver. That front three absolutely feasting right now. But at least we have an opportunity. This would have been even worse if I give him a little bit of a bonus year and we didn't even make the playoffs. Second to that would be going 1-and-done in the playoffs against the Chargers. But we handle business. 28-21. We'll spend this quick upgrade to give us the best team that we can have going forward. And let's see. We have the Raiders in the divisional round, a team that knows all about underperforming. The chance to get back to the AFC Championship game, and it just wasn't in the cards, fellas, for this team. I guess Jeff Saturday is not the answer at head coach for the Indianapolis Colts. Maybe Caleb Williams will not be the answer at quarterback. Honestly, it was a little underwhelming, to be honest with you, outside of that 1 year. And even in that 1 year, they threw 40 touchdowns, had like 25, 24 interceptions. You just can't do that and find a lot of success. So take a look at the career stats here. Caleb Williams, through 3 seasons, 16,000 passing yards, 135 touchdowns to 57 picks. Got Kenny Pickett as his backup. Jonathan Taylor, though, amazing. 14,000 rushing yards, 148 touchdowns. He's going to the Hall of Fame. Pittman was solid. 7,600 yards receiving, 71 touchdowns in 7 seasons. That's like, 1,010 every year, getting that Mike Evans type stat line. Jelani Woods was solid. Defensively, Shaq Leonard, 1,500 tackles. We have, a lot of these were not done with our team. Kwity Paye finished with 40 sacks. We got 24 picks. Shaq Leonard, 20 for Kenny Moore. But I really wish Caleb Williams could have brought some success, brought the Super Bowl to the Colts. It's not the last time we're rebuilding the Colts. For all teams, we're doing a realistic rebuild and a regular rebuild, so we will have another opportunity down the line. But I thought this was going to be it. I thought this was going to be the answer. We lucked out early. We got Freeland mid-round in our first draft, so to Bengal for the draft classes. He pops superstar. We follow that up with, obviously we got Keely Ringo, who at the time was a superstar. Like, that draft couldn't have been any better. We drafted an X-Factor safety during this rebuild. If we knew we were going an extra year, it probably would have been better not to have both Thibodeau and Hutchinson on the roster. Might have been able to keep the team a little bit more well-rounded with all that money invested in pass rush. But ultimately, it came down to the fact that Caleb Williams, as great as he is, statistically has everything you need in a franchise quarterback, can never really elevate this team. This was Jonathan Taylor's team through and through versus having Jonathan Taylor be a monster and as well as Caleb Williams. It felt like these two couldn't coexist on the offense, and that was kind of the issue. And, also you come down to the Colts playbook. Colts playbook wasn't good enough at maximizing our star talent, which falls on the shoulders of the, it's fair to say, controversial head coach, Jeff Saturday. So that'll do it for me today, guys. Thank you for tuning in to another Madden 23 realistic rebuild. As always, your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Smash the like button if you enjoyed. Let me know in the comment section below what team you want to see next in a rebuild. And I'll catch you guys back here on the next one. Thanks for watching. And until next time, C4 saying peace out. Love you. Have a good one.